so glad it's Sunday and I can just chill. Uh, are we ready to just kick off a podcast and kick it?
Yeah, dude. Actually, here right before I start, or right before we start, Sean, look what I'm gonna be vaping, bro.
I'm so jelly.
Yeah, I gotta nick it up though. It's 0 milligram. I actually think that I bought this in September from Will.
Oh, it's such a good liquid.
Either September or it could have been November, but I think that it was September.
Well, shit. Let's get down to it, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Shedtime podcast in 3, 2, and 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and it is my esteemed pleasure to be back with all of you today.
That's right. He said esteemed, folks.
Yeah,
he said esteemed.
Esteemed pleasure. We're using all sorts of great vocabulary today because I'm feeling good. Just getting a chance to relax, blow off steam from the week. It's, it can get hectic. Things can get a little crazy, and we all just need a minute to, inhale the good shit and exhale the bullshit, if you know what I mean. So I might actually, do some of that right now and inhale some good shit because I've had these modified grapes for the last few days, and it's been fantastic. A GMO cross,
delicious.
so good, so good. Now,
Dude, I'm still rocking like that cardo that I picked up last week, like just because it's easy. I'll probably get into some flour too, but like to start off the mood, I'd be rocking that island sugar. Dude, I fucking can't get enough of it. One night I fucking hit it like 10 times in 5 minutes and was like just fucking blasted. And I was like, yo, just because it tastes good doesn't mean that you need to go that fucking buck wild, you know? Like that
It's
gets
hard
fucking
not
dangerous,
to, bro.
bro.
That's why carts can be dangerous, bro.
Yeah, because it tastes so good, but dude, it's fucking like 89%. Like I can't be fucking hitting an 89% cart like 10 times in 5 minutes. Like that's just a little too aggressivo, you know what I mean? I need to like breathe a little bit. But it tastes really good. So if I ever see it again, I'll definitely be buying it if I ever see the flower. Because I'm curious, like if some of that taste translates through the Dynavap like into my mouth hole, like if it's like they've created this flavor by adding things, or like that's just legit how it tastes. Have you guys actually ever this I guess could go to anybody out there, if you have this experience, like feel free to like tap in with us. But have you ever had a cardo of a strain that you knew like pretty familiar, and like does it taste the same, or is it kind of different, but you kind of know that it's that? Like, because this is the second one I've ever had, so I don't know.
It fully depends.
I wouldn't say I've had that experience so much with cardos as much as I have with concentrates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like getting like, maybe like a concentrate form of like that, which is pretty much like what you're getting in a cartridge most of the time, depending on what kind of cartridge you're getting, which is the big key. Because we've talked about this before plenty in the past. But like if you're getting like a good quality, cart that's going to have the whole full spectrum situation with all the terpenes, all the different things that come along with that flower, then you can have that experience where it's going to taste a lot like the flower, but more intense of a flavor, obviously, because it's going to be more concentrated. And I've definitely had that happen with like getting some dabs of some flower, you know what I mean, that I'm really familiar with. And
yeah, then, like you got like GMO dabs, and you're like, oh, okay, yep. I would
100%. It's just way more intense. You know what I mean? It's like a dab or like a Dynavap times 10. You know what I mean? It's just like in your face, just deliciousness.
100%. I mean, it's like I tend to break it down into like 4 categories because you have distillate vapes, and inside distillate vapes, you're going to have the ones that are just like flavored candy and ones that are actually like meant to really represent a strain. And then, so obviously, like your flavored candy ones, they're not. They're like vape liquid. It's like fucking strawberries and watermelons and peaches, and like they're just gonna taste like the candy flavors. And that's fine if that's what you want. But like, yeah, like James is saying, like I've been using rosin pods in this packs, and I mean, this is just a more liquefied version of the same rosin I would throw in a dab rig. And this is, solventless. It's exactly what the plant produced. It tastes like the strain, 110%.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just curious because, like I said, I have like very, very, very low amounts of exposure to concentrates, really in general. Like if you take away hash, right? Like I've smoked a lot of hash in my life, and I've even vaped a good amount. Like I've probably vaped like 5 or 6 different strains through my Dynavap. But with the Cardos or dabs for that matter, I have like a very, very low level of experience. So I was curious because if I could find this in flower form, I would buy this Island Sugar in a fucking heartbeat.
And that's the thing, right? Is
And
like
the high is nice too.
not knowing for sure, like that could be a little bit of both, right? Like I know of a brand that I carry in the dispensaries that I work for, that their whole thing is like they'll have mango super silver haze.
Okay.
So it's like both of those kind of distillate categories. It's got a heavy candy mango flavor added to it, but it's also got all of the super silver haze terpenes present. The other thing though is that not all the terpenes are created equal. So you'll get some brands out there that they'll use mostly what they call botanically derived terpenes, where they're
Okay.
getting them from other plants, other fruits, things like that. And then you'll get ones that are actually derived from the plant itself. So
So
there's
basically,
that
like there'll be
distinction
ones
too.
that are like kind of like catering to or amplifying what's already in existence or whatever else.
Right. I mean, what's cool is that like you can just go buy terpenes right now. Like as somebody who has your mixing capabilities, you could in theory go online and buy just bottles of terpenes and then find ways to mix actual terpenes into your current e-liquid mixes.
Or like you could even do that with like a beer, right?
100% you
So
can.
like I could make a beer that like has all the same terpenes as like GMO, for example. I don't know if
Yes.
that would be good, but
You
know,
could you
you
could
understand what
make
I'm saying.
food. You could make food that had those same terpenes. And
That
what's
would
cool is
be
that,
interesting, but I'm not sure I would like that. I don't know.
well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're doing, right? Like if you're making a sauce, for example, and maybe a little pinene, just so that little hint of a pininess makes sense, that'd be great.
Yeah, or I guess you could add that to like gin and tonic or something,
Exactly. Yep.
right?
Or like myrcene
Okay.
has like a really dark, kind of a earthy, woody kind of a note to it. So like if you had a nice barrel aged whiskey, you could put some myrcene in it. It's present in mangoes. So, if you had like a nice mango fruit smoothie, you could throw it in there too.
That'd be interesting. Like I'm assuming that there's obviously people that do that. Like maybe even on the regular, and like that's just what they like.
I mean, you could get
But I
like
would try it. I would fucking try it. I don't
get
know if
some
like I'm gonna like
limonene, put that
go
in your
out and
OJ.
fucking find it. But if I was somewhere and they're like, "Yo, you can get these with like these terpenes inside," I'd probably be like, "I'll give it a go."
But it's funny. Ryan and I were actually talking about. Shout out to our homie Ryan. We were talking about exotic foods and stuff like that earlier today. And one of the websites I was looking at, they have terpene gummies as an option that you can
Oh,
buy.
dude, they're
Really?
those canna dips that I was using for a long time.
Yep.
Yep.
They have just terpene infused ones, bro,
Really?
that are just specific terpenes like myrcene, limonene, like all the ones that like are pretty familiar. Like that's all they're infused with. They don't have any CBD, anything else in them. It's just the terpene.
Yo, the
Do you
the
think that
limonene
would
is gonna
act
be
as like
great
a
for the morning.
placebo? Like for your body? Like you might ultimately know that you're not like really high or whatever. But it might trigger some things to like cut that edge.
Oh,
Well,
it
Just by the
100% should
flavors?
from the terpenes.
the terpenes of themselves have beneficial, things that come along with them, and that's why different people get different benefits from different combinations of terpenes.
Oh, so it's not just flavors, even when
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like extracted down or whatever. There's
Mhm.
more to it. Okay.
So
okay.
myrcene, for example, is also a very potent sedative. So
Oh.
this is why you find myrcene most common in all of the indicas, because it aids in that sedating nature. So similarly, if you were to use myrcene in that application of like, a pouch that you can put in your mouth, yeah, it should give you some level of a sedation, a level of relaxation to kind
But
of
like that'd be good for
calm
like
you.
somebody who might be like nervous to go on flight.
Right.
Mhm.
Instead of like fucking crushing back a couple of drinks to take that edge off, you could just throw in a dip with
100%.
myrcene.
I
Dude,
mean,
that's cool.
the limonene one, I could see that being awesome for people who struggle to feel energized in the morning, right? You could be throwing one of those in your mouth on your way out the door, and by the time you're at work, you're like actually awake and energized.
Yeah, I think they even have like different blends of things. Let me just go to their website, because I think they even have like ones for like energy and ones for sleep.
No, that's cool actually. Like I guess that ultimately makes sense, right? Like that does make sense. But it's cool that that's available also to like kind of utilize that for some people.
Yeah, they've got a CBN and CBG line. So CBN's for sleep,
Yes.
CBG's for go. So like they got go fuel, and then they got sleep fuel, and they've got like a couple different flavors. And then dude, they've released some new CBD. They've got OG Kush, Runts, Cherry Pie. Oh, they have a fucking hot one that's like a fucking spicy, like challenge thing. They got Northern Lights, Pineapple Express, White Widow, Ice Cream Cake, Granddaddy. Damn, I might have to order some new ones. I haven't ordered any in a while because they still have some. But yeah, they've got limonene, myrcene, and they're like different flavors too. So like they have like a limonene that's Arnold Palmer flavor.
Yep, makes sense.
They have a myrcene one that's peach flavored.
Hmm.
Another limonene that's citrus flavored. Myrcene that's mango flavored. Wintergreen that's pinene. Mint that's caryophyllene.
Ooh, nice little peppery note from that. Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I haven't used any of the ones besides just the regular CBD ones. But
Well, I mean, I imagine that the terpenes they're using in those blends, I mean, they're using those same terpenes to give you your flavors like Runts and OG Kush anyhow. So in theory, right? Like you're already, if you're buying one of those versions, you're already experiencing the effects of those terpenes and whatever that blend is. So I think it's a really cool way to create like a terpene therapy for people. Because again, it's something we've said a lot in this show that people, I think, take for granted the overall effects of those terpenes and how much they really make a difference. If you just vaped raw distillate THC by itself, it's not nearly as enjoyable of an experience as vaping, you know, a live resin or something like that that actually has a full spectrum of terpenes and other cannabinoids. So I think it's kind of cool.
they do offer a THC line too, but like they're only available in certain spots, and I haven't been able to find them anywhere near me, and I'm kind of curious to try them.
I had brought that idea up to a vendor that my company works with. I was like, listen, like if you're already doing the products that you're doing now, I'm like, it's not a stretch for you guys to be able to make some sort of THC 1-to-1 CBD kind of infused pouches that people can throw in like a dip pouch. And the dude was like, whoa, you're right. I was like, yeah, nothing in this market exists like that. You could be the first.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of people out there that still dip. So like I think that there's a lot of people that would probably be down to utilize that, and also just even people that maybe don't dip. But just it's not always opportune for you to like, smoke it, vape it,
Exactly.
whatever, right?
Like for me as a person who doesn't find edibles to be effective, I see that as a great opportunity for low profile consumption. That's something that I can pop in my mouth in the parking lot and then go into a comedy club or a concert and just let the THC infuse into my mouth and get me stoned because I don't want to really drink in this environment and have a good time and catch a small buzz. And, like, I think that's genius.
I don't think it's not genius, that's for sure.
Dude, I wish I could just like order that shit in the mail so I can try those things.
I know. That's
Like,
the future we hope
it's like
for.
within the state, man. Why can't you just ship it within the state? You know what I mean?
The future of plant medicine is exciting though, because like
Yeah.
I see so many things coming out now where it's like, plant supplements that have at least enough anecdotal evidence to say that it's effective for a lot of things. Like, I don't know enough about kratom to speak on it in any level, but I have met people who swear that it was life changing for them.
Maybe, dude. And I'm not even saying that these things are the same, but I remember like doing some salvia, and that shit was fucking wild. Is
No,
that
thank you.
Fucking salvia, man. Uh,
I'm good on that, bro.
I did salvia a handful of times. I wasn't impressed. It was not worth doing. I think in my experiences with the people I was around, nothing you see on YouTube was what we experienced. Nobody like threw themselves out of windows, nobody had convulsions, nothing like that. So I don't know what we did differently than those people, but uh I was not impressed. It was just this like brief blackout into like a trip and then you're back and you have a headache. It was like,
Yeah, I'm good.
if I'm on a trip, I want to really see stuff. I want to really have an experience, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Part
weird for me.
part of me wants to say that I'm down for it, for like the tripping and seeing shit, but other part of me is kind of like super sketched on it. You know what I mean? That's why I've never done it, because like
Well,
I don't feel like I'm ever fully committed to doing it.
I love that we're in a society now that is starting to open up to psychedelics to the point that like we are seeing legalization of use in different places because like the fact that people have an ability to easily dose and microdose is I think a fantastic way for people to experience what that all has to offer each person, because in that micro dose, I mean, anybody who's smoked weed and been really stoned, like you're going to be more than comfortable. you just feel like you're high, like you've been smoking weed all day. That's no big deal to someone like you or me. But that whole effect days later when your brain is still just kind of carrying the general glow of whatever is happening when, your synapses are being rewired in your brain. That I think is the powerful part of it all. And I mean, I've been an advocate about it since I've done it myself. And
Sorry, what are you talking about?
microdosing psilocybin.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. All right. I'm right there with you on that. Like, I understand what you're saying now. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was like lost. I thought you were like still sort of talking about salvia, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe people have found that too, but with the mushrooms, I can definitely, I can get behind that.
Yeah, like it's a beautiful thing that's what's coming around. I think there's going to be a point where maybe not my lifetime, but I think there'll come a point where like mushroom therapy is taken serious as
I
like a
think that'll
very
happen in your
viable thing.
lifetime, bro. It's already legal in British Columbia. Mushrooms are legal in British Columbia, so like,
Yeah, it's legal in a handful of US cities right now.
yeah, that's like a
Um
whole province. With like, the third biggest city in the country.
yeah, so like it's happening, but I still don't think it's going to like what I'm saying is I don't think in my lifetime it's going to be a situation where doctors are going to be like, "Have you thought about mushroom therapy?" I think
Like maybe like every GP. Yeah, you're probably right. It might not happen for a long ass time, but I feel like there's probably already like medical doctors that would do that now.
I mean, I'll say this as a person working in a recreational only dispensary, I get customers who tell me that their general practitioner said, "Have you thought about just going to a cannabis dispensary and trying some cannabis products?" And I get it, a couple times a week, probably. So it's definitely becoming more common for doctors to recommend cannabis, even to say you don't have to bother getting a med card. Just go to a rec dispensary and, try a gummy or try, one of these
Yeah, like
lotions.
you can kind of go try it before you put in all that work. Like if you find that it's helping you and maybe there's some benefit to you, like getting the medical card, then maybe. But just trying it out and like seeing how it all works is probably like never a bad move.
100%. I mean, in our first store when I was there, we had a 100-year-old woman who would come in and buy gummies from us.
That's fucking amazing.
And she found that if she cut a 5 milligram gummy into quarters, it was enough for her to be able to sleep at night. And so that's what she does. She'll buy a 20 pack and stretches them, well over a month. But that's the power now of where we are. Like the perception has begun to dramatically shift, and it's pretty cool. What was it? What was that statistic we were talking about earlier? Disposable vapes are projected to be a 10.6 or 10.8 billion-dollar market in the next 10 years.
I'm gonna say that I believe that because like even now, especially up here, because they've like basically like outlawed anything rebuildable, and it all has to be child proof compliant or whatever the fuck they call it. I can't remember what the hell it's even called because it's like offensive to me. I think it's CRC, but anyways, because they have to do that, like, dude, disposables or like disposable pod like cartridges are literally like they have to be the number one thing or like damn fucking near already And like there still are some sub-ohm tanks that you can get, but most of the shit that they sell, like when you go into a vape store now, it's just like pod system after pod system, and they're all closed pod systems, or they're like ones that have the I need to look up what that's called, but whatever the childproofing is, they have to have that in order to like even be available on the market. So that's like why RDAs and stuff, or RTAs or any of these things, they don't have like a child safety on them. And you have to have a child safety on them in order to like be compliant.
So how does that apply to the vapes in the cannabis industry?
As far as I know, it would be the same. So like this Cardo, for example, like it's like childproof. Like unless they suck it out of it, which I think that ultimately they could suck the liquid out of the vape ones too, but it has to just like be at a certain point where, like, you know, it's like anything, right? Like
Yeah, like there's a certain
amount
metric
of
it has to
people-
pass, and if it
yeah,
can't,
so it's like a certain amount of kids, and apparently they also use like elderly people. And if they can figure them out, like that's how they make something childproof. Is if like kids and like old ass people can't figure it out at like a too high of a rate. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
because
crazy.
that figure is just for the cannabis industry. And I was like, it makes sense to me because that, like you're saying, in the regular vaping, nicotine world, that is the vast majority of the market. So it totally stands to reason that it's going to become the major part of the vape market in cannabis. Because the statistic is interesting. It's something like 60 some odd percent of consumers are inhaled. Of that, it's like 30% primarily use vape carts.
Yeah. Well, you could just even see it just when you go to a lot of dispensaries now, how much variety of their cart, because dude, that's what takes up half of their cases most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In my store, I have
And usually each store has their own branded fucking cart, you know what I mean? On top of all the third party ones.
yep, like we have a whole table in both stores dedicated to just vape carts. And I know like in the store I operate out of, which is our second store now, we have basically one whole side is just disposable,
Yeah.
which I think is
That's
the
part
same
of it
way in the
too,
other
yeah.
store too. Like one whole side I think is just disposable and a couple of pod systems because we have like our PAX pods.
And then you get the companies that have not only, carts, but they have 4 or 5 different varieties of carts where they've got, their distillate cart, their live resin cart, their, full spectrum cart, their rosin cart, their solventless ones, and then they've got like maybe some 1-to-1s where it's like in one part
Oh yeah.
THC to 1 part CBD, or sometimes, a 3-to-1 or whatever, you know what I mean? There's so many different varieties of things out there now.
It's crazy.
And it's just the convenience, like you were saying earlier, Chris, like how, like for you, it's just so easy just to pick it up and take a rip on it. You know what I mean? And not have to worry about lighting anything, grinding anything, packing anything, cleaning anything, any of that. You literally just grab it, take your rip, and you're on your way,
Yeah, it's very simple.
Yeah. I mean, I've had this guy that came as a sample for a long time now, but like this is one of those examples of doesn't taste like a strain at all. There a small amount of terpenes to it, but it's basically just loaded with like it's a mint flavor into it. So like it just tastes like
this one here actually
mint
has like
e-liquid.
a little bit of some, terpy flavors going on with it. I think it's supposed to be a banana cream cake or something like that.
But that's an actual strain, so of course,
Yeah,
like,
and it's a live resin cart too.
yeah, you're gonna get the true terps in a live resin. It's like these rosin
I gotta
pods.
say too, I really like the draw on these Dizzy Pods too. It's definitely like a nice mouth to lung sort of situation.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna read them off, but that's the entire list of terpenes in this Wi-Fi mints pod.
Holy shit, dude. There's a whole slew
Yeah,
of them, dude. There's like 20
there's
plus.
yeah, easily 20 on here. So I mean, that's that's to me, that's what you're looking for. You want to see things like that when you look at these kind of vape products, because like if you were to look at this guy, this brand, it's like 89 to 93% THC and then like 0.2 terpenes. But on the flip of that, here's something I found interesting is that for some people that's a selling point. You know what I mean? Like some people don't want the weed terps at all. And like though to me as the consumer it blows my mind. Like I guess it does make sense, right? Like I
You're
think
like, give me
about
all them terps. And some people are like, no, I don't want it to taste like weed.
yeah, like I think about like soccer moms are usually my go-to example for this. But like sometimes you got the soccer mom who like she just it's instead of a glass of wine, she just wants 2 seconds to rip a fucking, strawberry vape pen in the bathroom, and that way she doesn't get caught by the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like I actually get that. Like I totally get that. Like you need to be as low key as you can humanly possibly be. That totally makes sense to me that that's your move. You want to be able to take one, maybe two little toots. Okay, I'm back on solid ground. Now I can deal with my bratty ass kids. And you step back out, ready to go. Mommy time, Like, all right, cool. I get it.
Yeah,
What makes me
I
Go
feel
ahead.
like if we could get some sort of like, because I know that like I've seen them, but like if there's something like this could maybe become more popular, like a nice like sublingual sort of like a tincture sort of thing, but maybe a little bit easier sort of style to where like kind of like the strips that we've seen. You know
Yeah,
what
the
I
breath
mean?
strips.
Because did that sublingual way of ingesting your THC is also a nice way of getting a pretty quick and like easy microdose situation. You know what I mean?
100%. I
And I feel
know.
like that for people that are trying to get for like you're even saying like a parent who's like on the go and like doesn't want to smell or anything like that, but definitely could use a little something to take the edge off. I wish those are more popular because I don't see stuff like that often anymore. Like those are
No.
things that I only see very few and far between, and it's usually only at like some sort of convention or show or something.
Well, that's like I think in Massachusetts, you're only allowed to have transdermal products if you're a medical facility. And so like that's a shame because like a 5 milligram or a 10 milligram THC patch that you could just stick on.
Yeah, I think you can get those out here in certain places.
Yeah,
Like
like
that would be
they're
pretty nice too.
yeah, they'd be so convenient for some people. Again, like Uncle Chris is
Dude,
saying,
like on a
somebody who wants to
flight,
take the
bro.
edge off the flight.
Bro.
Yes. Slap a THC patch or two on your arm and just go for your flight and be mellow the
Yeah,
whole
not have to
time.
just get super ripped before you get on the flight and be paranoid as shit as you're going through
Yeah,
TSA.
dude.
Dude, because that's what I end up doing every time, as I just get super ripped before I get on the flight. And then like I always like just am tripping out when I'm going through. Not that I ever have anything, to be worried about, but sometimes when you
You're
get
just
stoned, you
high
just
and
get paranoid, you know what I mean?
yeah.
When there's authorities around, bro, you know what I mean? I still haven't got that out of my system, even though it's legal in the state, you know what I mean? Like anytime there's any sort of authority around and I'm stoned, I'm like,
Bet. 100%. 100%. I'm right there with you. I work in the industry. I know the shit inside and out, and I'm still like, it's okay. But I mean, in that same vein, I was just coaching a retired police officer this week on using cannabis for sleep.
Oh, really?
So it was cool because like he was saying like he was one of the cool cops basically is what he was trying to say. Like He never thought that weed was a big deal, so he was more of a just dump the bag out kind of a thing and get on your way.
Mhm.
So that's cool. But yeah, he hadn't tried weed since he became a police officer. So over 20 plus years.
Wow.
And so it was kind of cool to be able to introduce him to what legal weed looks like and walk him through all of the ways that it works, what to know, what to watch out for, how to approach it, and then obviously land on something that I figured would work well for him. And what we ended up landing on was something that was literally just a milligram of THC, some C, and then 5 milligrams of CBD and 5 milligrams of CBG. He'll sleep like a baby, and he won't wake up stoned.
I'll tell you
Like,
what, boys. I woke up pretty fucking hungover, stoned the other day. Yes, was it yesterday? Went a little hard on the paint Friday night, boys.
well, I believe it with your partying.
Yeah, a little too much, I think.
Nah, dude, it's you know why? It's because James, your age no longer starts with a 2.
Oh yeah,
That's like the biggest thing.
I can't do that shit no
I'll
more,
tell
bro.
you. And
Can't
you
you
wait
stay
till
up
you
all
hit
night?
4. When it starts with
Bro.
a 4, bro, like you're like, whoa.
I'll tell you what, dude. I can't be staying up to 3 o'clock in the morning anymore, bro. Especially after being up at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you were up for almost 24 fucking
It
hours.
was fucking brutal, boys. Let me tell you. But I'll tell you what, it was a good time, man. Plenty of dabs, plenty of Dynavaps.
And dude, the green room went out like with a fucking just without a hitch, dude. It
Yeah,
went off
dude.
without a hitch, 100%. It was perfect.
Yeah. That was a cool go of the green room.
Dude, and it makes me like
I
super
loved it.
stoked because like that just means that if I ever have to go mobile, I know I can do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and then you know how you do it too.
yeah.
I mean, it was so smooth that like I know it made you think maybe switching up the software was going to be an option. Like that's
It
a cool
might be,
thought
bro.
too.
I'm thinking about trying it on the next one we do, and when I'm here in the normal
So
office, you know.
like it had a whole list of positives that really came out of it. Not to mention like you got reinvigorated creatively.
Well, I'm already
Seeing
thinking.
that
I
new
just want to get new
space.
lights, dude, because it would make things just like for me and here. Because dude, that's the one thing that kills me sometimes when doing these streams is I have so many lights pointed directly at my face that like I think it's fucking up my eyes, dude.
Oh, 100%. That shit'll burn you up real fast.
So I need to like figure that situation out. Because dude, if I can get it to where like his office was like, because when you walk in his office, dude, it's nice and dim. You know what I mean? It's like almost like kind of like walking into like a lightly lit fucking I don't know how to explain it, dude. It was
Well,
just chill, bro. And
I
then like
mean,
it was lit perfectly with just the amount of light he had coming from his soft boxes. And then the ambience with the fucking LED or whatever green lighting going on was just dope.
a lot of that too has to do with his camera settings. Like he's got a good camera, he's got good fucking lens.
Oh
so
yeah,
he
I've
can-
never messed with my camera to figure out how to get like better, because I could probably just mess with it, but I
because
don't know how to do any of that.
quick tech talk for people who are camera nerds like me. Like when we're messing with ISO exposure and the f-stops, like we can do a lot. And so like I know there's a school of teaching that people will operate with where they will push their ISO up as far as they can go until it just starts to get grainy, and then they'll back it off so it's not grainy, it's nice and clean. And then from there it's going to be super blown out, overexposed. So now you can dial back your exposure and get it to where you want it to be. And now you have all this room to wiggle on the camera. You don't even need lights on, your ambient room light is enough to light you clear.
Dude, look at that.
Yeah, see what I mean?
Shit. I don't have any lights on right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's the
Fuck, there you go.
That's part of what he was doing, man. He's got those settings all dialed in, so it's super clean and crispy.
No lights, boys. This is sick. Now my eyes don't hurt.
I know that's why like I have my windows like drawn like the drapes. They're not drapes. I have like the fold down blinds or whatever. I always like recording during the days because I don't have to have a light on. It's fucking fantastic.
See,
That's
I
why like
run,
at night I never put it on. Like unless we're like on the show. I like never put it on. I fucking hate like just sitting there with a ring light. Ugh.
I run 2 soft boxes, so like it's really not bad. There's LED bulbs in them, and so I put a couple of 2 out of the 5 on usually on each one. They light me from both sides, so there's no harsh shadows. Like when I put my hand over my face, it's not like
Dude, that's the one thing. I don't
hard
have
shadow.
any shadows
Yeah,
at all.
you got
right
no
now.
harsh shadows right now.
Well, it's because
Like,
I don't have any fucking lighting coming from other directions to cast a shadow.
like
Sick.
yeah, and then of course I get the backlighting because I've got the tanks behind me plus the light above, which lights up the plants a little bit. So like that's kind of like how Grim has all of his hue lights tucked where he does to give him that nice backlighting. Like, just it becomes a vibe, like you said on the show. Like
Yeah.
it's a vibe, and it's so
I
good.
just need one in that corner, one in that corner, and I'll be fucking Gucci.
You have room. You could pull the Funkos forward just a little bit. You could run a light behind them.
Yeah, I could.
Nice little strip of light just so that that wall
Dude, I
behind it
haven't
glows.
I haven't moved those things since they've got up there, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, what
Dusting
I'm
is a
thinking about
scary thought.
yeah. Well, no, I get like the front of the shelf. I've just never moved the fucking the pops.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
how are the tops of the top row?
No, they're probably bad.
I mean, I'm just thinking like mine probably have a coating and they're just on a shelf over here and they've been there for like a month. I can only imagine if they've been up there for a couple of years.
Oh, they've been there pretty much since I moved in, dude.
Oh man. Oh
Yeah.
man. That's yeah. That's a tough one. Fucking dust, man. Shit builds up.
Especially here in the desert, bro. It's bad. I forgot I was gonna take a dab too. I got everything all set up and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, dudes, I will say this. For anybody who's going to be in Ohio, I'm bringing plenty of concentrates. All of the ones.
Are you shipping that out tomorrow?
Yeah, probably. But dude, all the things, some sour GMO or sour alien GMO, some orange cookies. What else was I taking out there? Some triple platinum rosin and some Sherb Wilson. So that's 4. What else?
You guys are gonna get super doo-doo high.
Some garlic cookies and some gelato 41 focus camera on the whatever. And who knows? I might take some other stuff because I still got a bunch of. I still have like 6, 7, 8 more, to choose from. Thing about these ones though, dude, these Hush brand ones, these are $17 a gram.
Really?
That's like very inexpensive.
Are they like right on their expiration date?
No, I don't think so.
Because that's a low price.
That's what I said. That's what I thought. That's why I grabbed them. Oh, I will say this. Hold on. Let me.
Are they weak on the THC and high on the terps?
They are not super high on the THC. Like the LA Confidential one's 67%, and the ChemDog I have here is 70%. Doesn't have much of a breakdown as far as terpenes go. I'm trying to see what color these are. Now I have to turn the light back on.
Bro, I just got to sidetrack for a second because you brought up ChemDog. I have the opportunity to meet ChemDog.
Dude,
What?
He's going to be visiting my stores.
Really?
Yes.
That's fucking interesting at the very least.
Yeah, dude. Because we carry his brand that
They're
he
kind of
grows.
dark. Oh,
Ooh, yeah, it is a bit dark.
there. So I'm kind of curious to see what they end up tasting like. But yeah,
Interesting.
dude, I got a bunch of other stuff in here too, like some grease monkeys, some strawburst,
Well, I mean, like,
some what else is this? Some blueberry diesel, some manzanilla.
that reminds me of when we had that lime Studley that came around, and it was testing super high in terps, and it had like a fairly low THC content compared to their other rosins. Oh, this is so good. I miss that strain. That was the roast beef terps, if you guys remember that one.
Beef chirps?
Yeah, remember when I had the rosin that like reminded me of roast beef
Oh
with
yeah,
gravy?
yeah. Dude, oh, I also forgot I still have some of this stuff on the table too. I'm about to dab. This is some purple ice cream rosin. Pretty tasty stuff.
Ooh, purple ice cream. I like the sound of that. Interesting.
Kind of got like that darkish, greenish kind of pasty complexion to it, you know? Oh, and I did get hooked up with some more Fuck Clan Danibus while I was there too.
Oh shit.
So shout outs to Fuck Clan Dan.
Dan was talking to me about running an experiment with us here on the show at some point.
Yeah.
So if we can pull all that together with Dan, I think that'd be really cool. Because I'm down for science.
Science is fun.
I like science. Science is fun.
I'm down to do a little science. I like that. That's one thing I'll say. Part of my, with what I do for work, like I get to do a little bit of science all the time. Like, here, try these, see what you think. Okay.
Right?
Like these days, I have become a big fan of these infused apple ciders. This is like a jam for me now.
Like, do you notice like a pretty nice onset from them, or is it just more so the flavors?
So
and the taste?
because it's a beverage, it's being absorbed through the stomach lining and everything else. I equate it to like a light beer, where if I were to just sip on a light beer over the course of, half an hour, I'm not necessarily going to be intoxicated, but I will have, just this gentle buzz. I'll be aware I drank a beer. If I drink a couple in a half hour, I'm going to have a little, a little bit more of a buzz. If I drink a 6-pack over the course of an hour or two, I will definitely have a buzz. I feel the same is happening with these. I during the course of one of these shows, I think it was last week actually, I managed to put 3 of them down between just before the show and through the course of the show. And on top of vaping and just hanging out, doing my thing with y'all, enjoying the show, I was significantly more lifted than usual because I'm getting the body experience that you would from a tincture or an edible with the rest of the experience from having been vaping my pod and my flower. So I find that the drinks do work. I mean, there was an episode in the past that I remember us doing where I pounded one of those 100-milligram lemonades during the show,
Mm-hmm.
and I was definitely roasted halfway through because of that lemonade. So that's kind of the nice thing about the liquids like that is it doesn't need your liver. It is going to absorb through your stomach lining, through the rest of your body. And it ends up being a faster onset. You don't have to go through a digestive process. So now you're talking about 20 minutes. Like these guys, I think they say average is 15. So I'm like, yeah, about 20 minutes maybe before you start to actually feel something. But like in Massachusetts with these guys being only 5 milligrams, this is so perfect for somebody who just wants to like dip their toe because you can open one. They have the resealable tops. So that way you can fully reseal it. So like you can have this thing pour out a little bit into a glass, maybe drink half of one, sit back for half an hour and see how you feel. And if you're comfortable with that and you want to proceed further, then you can go crack the other half, finish it off, see how you feel. Then maybe drink a whole one the next time, see how you feel. They're nice, man. They're just like an enhancer is what I would call it. If I were to rely on this alone, I don't think it would be an effective use of my time. But if I'm just chilling, I'm already burning with people, and maybe instead of beers, I just want to drink these, I think that's the move.
All right.
There's like no out of control with this. If I drink 6 of these too fast, I'm not going to be sloppy for any length of time. If I try to pound a 6-pack too fast, I'm going to get a little sloppy. So I like that. Keeps you in control. I don't encourage operating under the influence. But I'm saying it keeps you in much more control. I'd much rather leave the party after drinking a few of these and feel comfortable driving home safely. You know what I mean? So
I do know what you mean, actually. I know what you mean.
And again, like it's the thing for me too is that it's not a fucking seltzer. In my market, everybody's been putting out seltzer after seltzer after seltzer after seltzer. And I'm like, somebody please do things for the rest of us. So like these guys, this company has a few mocktails. They've got the 3 sodas now because they just did a ginger ale. They've got this and a blueberry lemonade. So finally, something that's not seltzer is coming onto the market, giving people more options. Like I rejoice when I see these things. It's like when I found the hot sauce. Let's go.
Yeah, Infused hot sauce is pretty sick.
I still think the best move I ever saw was a guy did he was taking Frank's Red Hot, infusing it 1-to-1, 100 milligrams CBD and THC each into the bottle and then rebottling it. So you were getting 1-to-1 Frank's Red Hot. So brilliant. The CBD content tamed the burn of the hot sauce, which for people who love hot sauce, that just allows you to eat even more of it, allowing you to get even higher. That's genius.
That was pretty sick. I'm not like a super huge, like crazy hot sauce guy, but I do like a nice spice.
Yeah, like, but imagine, right? Like the classic Frank's Red Hot Buffalo. Like you could eat tons of those wings.
That on some wings, bro.
You know what I mean? So now infuse that with the THC and CBD, so that it tames that, so you can put even more sauce on it. Psh, you're gonna go even harder. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I remember when I got a bottle of that at an event, and one of the first things I did, I made a tuna sandwich. It's like, oh, I got that infused hot sauce. I just put it on the tuna sandwich. I was lit about an hour after that sandwich. It was so good.
Tell you what, boys, I'm gonna be lit here in a second because I already feel that dab I just took.
Dude, you made me just realize that like it's been a while since I hit this card, so I might as well hit this card out. You know what I'm
do it,
saying?
bud. Get it
Give it
in
a
you,
little
bud.
tootski, you
Yeah,
know?
okay, so I just want to also say, so since like whenever I set this on this mod, this mod was at 100%. It's at 91% at 7 watts, and it's been days, like
Yep.
days and days. So that's actually pretty fucking crazy. And it's just this tiny little lipo mod, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's
dude.
this thing's fucking absolutely small as fuck. Like I can almost like fucking use it with the Cardo and not even see it. You know what I mean?
Do you remember back in like 2016 there was that like wicked itty bitty,
The nugget.
yes, the nugget.
Dude, this is smaller than it right here. Like this is it's called the E-Leaf Basic 40 watt. And I actually have Arctic Fox on it, and it'll run up to 60 watts. But for some reason, dude, it does not read that Cardo. Because that's what I was gonna. I bought it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put it on this bitch when I fucking get home, and it's gonna be fucking amazing. And for some reason, it just won't read on it. But this thing's like super fucking tiny. Because like, dude, look at the size difference.
Yeah,
in these
dude.
things.
It's so
Like,
little.
it's fucking absolutely miniature, dude. Like it's fucking crazy.
That's
small.
sick, though.
But yeah, so I that's what I was hoping for. But that'd be like the perfect kind of, if they could turn something like this where it was just like ever so slightly wider, like this wide, you know what I mean? And the Cardo fit right inside of it, and like that was all in one, dude. You would
They have them,
literally,
bro.
They have them.
but like would it have like this level of a battery though?
Some of them.
Some
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some are
Yeah,
out
this
there.
has like 1300 mAh, I think. Maybe even 1500 mAh.
Oh yeah, dude, you could find one out there, I'm sure.
Truth be
Sweet.
told, though, like
Should we Google foo it right now?
I've had this thing since I was managing the vape shop. What, 4 years ago, 3 years ago now, and it's still kicking ass. It if you're using it regularly, it can hold a charge for at least a week. And I'm impressed. It does the job. It's not bad at all. Leaf Buddy. We picked these up because like
Excuse me.
they were more reliable than the regular pen style, and we could charge the same price. So this was like
Dude,
a $10 retail.
They have ones now, Chris, that you can make look like this, where you literally take the bottom off, screw your Cardo in, slide it back in, and it looks like a disposable.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess it's only a matter of time before more and more shit happens like that, but
I
it's
have
fucking dope.
I have
here, let me
one and
see
a
if I-
half gram
where did I
carts
see
on
them
the
at?
way. Like that blew my mind too. You imagine a 1.5 gram cardo? That thing's gonna be a beast. It's gonna look like an actual clearomizer.
Yeah, they have ones that look like key fobs, Chris. Where it's like you screw your Cardo in, and then you could like fold it in like your keys.
Okay,
And then like
that's
push a
dope.
button and it flips out.
I used to carry those at the vape shop too.
Yeah. It just depends on what you're looking for, my dude.
I will say the key fobs are a little bit bulky because they're made large enough to accommodate a 1 gram, which is this long. So like, I don't know. They're not going to be for everybody out there. If you're listening and you're like, oh, that sounds like a cool idea, check them out. Understand that they're usually
Sometimes
made.
only for like a half gram.
Yeah, see if they specify, because like if they're made for a full gram cart, take a look at a full gram cart. See if you like the idea of it being that big, because I know scale is hard to judge on these websites. Like it'd be a motherfucker. Sometimes I'd be looking at these things on Instagram that people are posting. I'm like, oh man, that looks super dope, and then you realize it's the size of a quarter. you're like, oh, that explains everything. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what though, in the world of spicy things, I found ghost pepper cheese.
Ghost pepper cheese.
Yeah. I was so
I'm sure
intrigued.
that's a thing.
We bought it, and I'm going to use it in pizza and see how this goes.
That's going to be a spicy pizza, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to mix it with mozzarella too, because you got to mix it with the proper cheese for
Yeah,
pizza.
but still,
But
that's
yeah.
going to be going to have a kick.
Here's the thing. Here's my thought on it though, right? This was Walmart brand limited edition ghost pepper cheese that was shredded. My thinking is if it's Walmart brand, it's probably tame compared to like actual ghost pepper hot sauce hot.
Either way, man, I don't really fuck with the ghost pepper. So,
dude,
even
shit.
if it is on the lower end, I think I'm still out.
When we made the ghost pepper tequila, oh my god, we got 3 whole fresh ghost peppers, cut them in half, seeds and all, threw them in a bottle of tequila. We let them steep for a couple days, I think it was, and then we made margaritas with it. It was like drinking gasoline. It was so spicy.
Yeah, I'm good. No, thank
And
you.
like, it was to the point like you had to take huge sips of it in order to like get past the heat. And then once you got it halfway down, it was like we immediately started diluting it to try to like take the spice down to tame it. So like we literally got half that bottle down and then mixed fresh tequila into it after removing the peppers, of course, in order to like hopefully tame it and make it a little bit more usable, because it was aggressive as fuck. I think these couple of extra grays in my beard came from drinking that tequila. Yeah, like I think I took a sip and one of them was like,
well, you know what? Honestly, dude, that might be like partly why my hair went gray so early, because I used to fucking go pretty hard.
you know what I'm saying? I swear to God, like there certain experiences like that are definitely what make you gray. Like when my parents would be like, "Oh, you used to stress me out so much, you gave me these grays." You know, you chuckle at it, but no, I think they were right. Like I think that sometimes I did stress them out enough. I gave them those grays. Cause shit, I've been stressed enough at work that I'll wake up one morning and be like, "Motherfucker, is that a gray in my beard?" Man, stress really be doing some fucked up shit to us. I mean, shit, I pulled my damn hair out from stress. Can't you see? Hey,
Nice.
I got jokes for the listeners. My hair is no longer dreadlocked.
That's no longer.
Yeah, it's still a trip as fuck. Like there's no hair.
Yeah. Yo, actually, what's really weird is that because of the recording schedule that we keep and the way that shows get recorded versus being released, a lot of our listeners who also watch the Green Room are well aware of this information. It's true. Not news to them. But for some people who maybe don't watch the Green Room but listen to this show, yeah, that could be a complete surprise. All our promo material has shown me with dreadlocks all this time, and now.
Oh, speaking of which, bro, you're gonna have to send me some new pictures for new thumbnails.
Yeah, dude. Good point. Yeah. We're gonna get a whole new art update.
Yeah, dude. Oh, speaking of which, you need a new logo, bro.
Yeah, I do. I still need to do that too.
So I could switch that out.
I haven't
on things.
You know that
in due time, no rush. Whenever it happens, it'll happen. But
well, so like that's the thing, right? Like you know how sometimes if you do something at work all the time, it's like just something you don't feel like ever doing at home.
Trust me, I get it.
Yeah, like because I do a lot of graphic design and stuff at work, I don't ever think when I come home like, oh, you know what I need to do? I need to do my logo.
Yeah, because you're trying not to think about work when that's
dude. Like what I should be doing is when I don't feel like doing work and I just want to fuck off at some point, I need to just make my logo at work. Don't take my advice, ladies and gentlemen, unless you choose to. And then I'm not advising you to do that. But wink, wink, nod, nod. I understand. Um,
What? Nobody else gets paid to poop at work?
right?
I do.
What did my coworker used to say? Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
Yeah, dude, I've heard that before. I think
Yeah,
that's pretty
dude.
funny.
Always.
I mean,
Not always, but it usually just so happens to hit after break time. You know what I mean?
well, I mean, not to keep the poop talk going, but I will always applaud this one coworker of mine when I used to work for Target, because the way that they did things in a place like that, we would have to do this morning huddle. And then after the morning huddle was a morning project before our team could go to break. We were already there for 2.5 hours before this damn meeting, by the way. So we were, it was just kind of pointless anyway. But one of my coworkers trained himself to have to take a dump right after the morning huddle so that he could skip out on that morning project every day.
Wow, that's next level. That's
He
like big brain shit.
he adjusted his fiber intake so that his BM would hit him right at around 8:30, just at around the time we would wrap
What, you
that
guys
meeting.
don't shit at the same time every day?
Not at the same time, like in the same like maybe time frame.
Well, yeah, okay, maybe it's not like at the exact same time, but it's like within the hour.
Well, yeah, I mean,
most of
a
the time.
healthy colon will mean that you're regular.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what Homeboy did. He made sure that he was regular on a clock so that he could fucking get the company on this one.
Well,
So
it's
this was-
dependent on if I've had coffee or not. Because if I've had coffee and an extra one gets squeaked in, you know what I mean? Because dude, I don't know what it is about coffee, bro. Anyways, we can
it's
change
warm
subject.
liquid. So
No, well, it's a diuretic too.
well, yeah, but
Get your colon a going. You know what I mean?
health wise too, though, warm liquids get your bowels moving specifically, which I think
dude,
was
you
really
pair
interesting.
nicotine with the caffeine,
And everything is stimulated now, baby. Let's go.
Dude, everything's waking up and like, hey, let's go.
It's funny because Ashley and I were talking about that this morning about how it's no wonder some people are like so over the top sometimes. Like you roll out of bed, you rip a sativa, then you fucking make a cup of coffee and hit some nicotine. Like you haven't had any food, but you just jammed your body full of 3 different stimulants.
Well, let's go.
Like, bazing!
Yeah,
No
dude,
wonder.
I'm the opposite, bro. I wake up, hit an indica, and fucking most of the time I don't drink coffee or anything, but I usually start my day with some caffeine. Caffeine is like another thing that is like a big part of my life, bro. Between nicotine, it's probably the next thing for sure.
Yeah, I think most days I definitely rip my vape at least once before I've made my cup of coffee.
Oh, dude, the first thing I do normally when I wake up, like, well, other than like get dressed or whatever, I'll like look for fucking something to rip on.
Yeah, like it maybe it's weird, maybe it's not, maybe it makes sense, but I strategically leave my vape here in my office because with the layout of my house, you're able to basically walk into my office from our bedroom. So I'll get dressed in the bedroom, then I can walk right in here, use the bathroom, take that morning piss, and then my vape's right here to take that first vape. And if I don't do that, I'll leave it up in my kitchen because, again, as soon as I get up there, I'm going to go ahead and make a cup of coffee. So while the coffee's brewing, I can take my first vape.
Yeah, dude, my morning routine, dude, lasts all of 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm out the door.
Yeah,
From the time I wake up to the time I leave is like 5 to 10 minutes.
some mornings I envy you for being able to do that.
I'll tell you what, bro, it's not the best, but it's just how I roll. It's bad, bro, honestly, because like I'm the worst procrastinator about getting out of bed in the morning. Because, dude, I don't know what it is. It's mainly probably because I don't get enough sleep. But, dude, I have the hardest time waking up in the morning. And if I don't have to wake up, bro, I won't. like I'll just fucking keep fucking like I kind of like wake up or whatever, and then just like fuck this, I'm not getting up, and then just roll back over and go back to sleep.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore. Like it's weird.
I think it's just the way my body works, bro.
I used to be that way when I was
But I
younger.
don't sleep during the week at all. But on the weekends, bro,
Yeah,
I
same
get it
thing.
in.
I'd get maybe 4 hours if I was lucky most nights, and then like on my days
Dude,
off.
what fucked me up, bro, the worst was Friday, bro. Being up damn near 24 hours. I was up for like 22 hours.
Yeah,
And dude, it was.
you ain't a young buck anymore. I
I'll
had
tell you
that.
what, ladies and gentlemen, if you are up that long, do not drive long distances.
Yeah, no, don't. That's tough. I had that realization moment
I
for
had to pull over
me.
a few times, grab like a little snack or something just to, make sure I was good to go. You know what I mean?
We did that to ourselves in Boston for the Freedom Rally one year. We did both days working media, shooting film and photo for the Boston Freedom Rally. At the same time, my friends who were, all the musicians I worked with, I had to shoot a music video at a show that night for the in between the 2 days of the festival. So I worked the whole fucking first day of the festival, go right into the city for the show. When I get there, I find out that I have to be the sound engineer now too, because they don't have an in-house sound engineer. So I end up mixing the show, filming the music video, and then rather than going home and sleeping in my own bed, commuting another hour back to the city to do the second day of the festival, we decided, oh, we'll go crash at our buddy Wayne's house in the city. Well, that's where the after party was. We got an hour of interrupted napping on the couch and then did the whole second day of the festival before we could actually get a good night's sleep. And I was in my 20s, and that was a breeze. In my 30s, I did like a 20-hour day from having worked and then went and helped on a film shoot and was hurting.
I
After
still
6
haven't
hours.
recovered, bro.
Like,
I still haven't recovered.
yeah, dude.
And I wasn't even like drinking or anything either. It was just lots of shed time, boys.
Yeah, but you also, like you said, you went to bed fucking crazy late too, man. That's gonna
Yeah.
throw you off.
It's
Yeah,
like, dude, it was nutty.
that's the
That
thing.
was
You
a
worked
good
a
time,
half
bro.
day. You had to travel there. You had to set up, do the show, everything. Then you had to kick it with everybody. Then you had to travel all the way back. Like,
It was a day, bro.
yeah, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy.
Worth it.
Oh yeah, right. Like
Fun, dude.
that's the thing. The moments that are worth making memories of are going to be the ones that take that kind of energy, right?
Well, the thing is, too, dude, is I don't fucking get out and do shit enough. So, like, the fact that, like, I had somewhere to go, like, go chill with some friends, you know what I mean? And just, like, have some good vibes and not just, like, do it through the computer, which of course, I love hanging out with everybody on Discord. But whenever there's an opportunity to do it in person, bro, and I can make it, shit. It's just cool, man.
Doing things in person is always so much better.
Yeah,
Not
just
always,
getting out,
but a
just
lot of the
getting,
time.
just getting out of the house. When you don't do it very often, other than just to work. I go to the work and maybe the store, and then other than that, I'm at home.
Yep.
And I don't do a lot of running around. Well, every now and then I'll go to like the movies or something with my dad, but that's not very often. And it was like this past week, like I had my brother and sister-in-law here with my niece and nephew. And while they were here, we went out and did a few things. Like we went and took my nephew shooting one day. And then one day after work, I came home. We all went bowling. And it was fun, dude. It was good to hang out with the fam, and go out and do some stuff I haven't done in a while. Like I haven't gone out and shooting in fucking forever. And then I haven't went bowling in forever either, which kind of makes me want to go more because, like, dude, I forgot how much fun I used to have bowling. And I'm not too bad, like, once I get a little warm up in me. I'm not like fucking gonna join a league or nothing.
Say not league ready yet, huh?
No, but like once I get a few balls down the lane, like I start working it out, and like if I bet if I put some time into it, I could be pretty decent. You know what I mean? It's just I don't go enough.
Eventually, you could be
What
the
happens,
dude,
dude? What happens if I go and I all of a sudden I become like a professional bowler?
Dude, that'd
bro.
be kind of cool,
How fucking
actually.
hilarious would that be, dude?
Like
Like
I
it'd
said,
be funny for sure, because like you didn't realize how good you could be until you're in your 30s. But at
Yeah,
the same time,
yeah.
like that maybe is one of those sports, bro, that like when you're in your 30s, like that's when you
yeah,
might find it and still get
I
crazy.
feel like you need to start practicing now because I feel like you're not supposed to be pro in bowling until you're in your 40s. I feel like 30s is where you like sharpen the skill.
But what that just makes me think, what happens if I would have started when I was younger? You know what I mean? I could be like fucking like the youngest, like
Like
the best.
I remember watching pro bowling on television with my grandpa when I was a kid growing up. And that was the one thing that always stood out to me is it was like there's always these like 50 and like 60-year-old men that were out there and they were ripping it on the pro circuit. These dudes had the like meanest throws I've ever seen anybody throw. And I was
Like, and if I had like an actual like good lane to throw down where like the pins and fucking lanes aren't just all fucked up, you know what I mean? Because dude, I was getting robbed so hard, dude. Like I was like, man, these motherfuckers got like magnets or something on some of these pins, dude. Because it was, dude, went down the lane perfect, bro. Fucking started off, kind of towards the left, curved out towards the fucking gutter, curved right back in, right in between the first and second pin, where that sweet spot where it should just fucking bust the whole fucking rack down. And there'd just be that one fucking pin, dude, standing there like nothing even happened. Like, you son of a bitch.
bastards. I remember as a kid growing
I did
up.
end up getting 2 solid strikes though, bro, and they felt good, dude. Oh, it felt so. When you let go of the ball and you just like it, just like I was like,
It's
oh,
one of
that's
those.
gonna...
Is it one of those like you just know moments?
Yeah, it's like as soon as I released, I was like, oh, dude, that's gonna be good. And I look up, follow the ball down the lane, watch it curve out, curve back in. I'm like, oh shit, get the arm ready. Tiger Woods fist pump, bro. Fucking hit the pie. You know what I mean? Every time, dude. It's so fun. So fun. I love it.
Uh, I never really got into bowling as a kid, but
Bro,
like,
it's fun, man.
I
Even if you're
remember.
not good, just like trying to like it, because then once you finally do get a strike, it's so fucking like gratifying. Like you're just like, yes.
Like I remember watching a lot of it because my parents had a friend. We had a longtime family friend who was in a bowling league, and so like when the league would be in competition and they would end up, in our end of the state, then like they'd come hang out with us. We'd go out to the league match and cheer them on and stuff. It was always fun to watch, but like it was never for me. That's why I'm like I really think in my 30s now I might actually enjoy bowling.
Dude, it'd be fun. You and Lizzie should just go out one night and just go throw some balls down the lane, bro.
I know she likes to bowl because she used to work. We have
Pins, right?
yeah, that restaurant / bowling alley / arcade / concert venue / shithole. But yeah, their bowling isn't real bowling though.
Is it 5 pin?
No, like it's a 10 pin, but it's not like an actual bowling system with like re-racking pins. The pins are all on strings. So
Yeah.
it ruins the physics and you can't actually hit
Do you have
strikes
any?
the way you
Do you have
should.
an actual bowling alley anywhere near you?
An actual bowling alley.
Yes, I do.
Dude,
It
5-pin
is
bowling's like big up here and it's on strings, but there's only 5 pins.
like we have Alley Cat, which
Oh,
Alley
that
Cat's
sounds legit.
yeah, it's like super retro.
Dude, sounds legit. I would
Super
totally go
retro.
bowling at Alley Cat, bro.
Right? Like it's in just like when you pull up to the building, it just looks like a shitty old warehouse.
Dude, it reminds me of that movie. What was it? Wasn't it called Alley Cats? Like a Disney movie or some shit? And there's like a bunch
Oh,
of
you're thinking of the Aristocats.
no. This was like it was like a teen movie with like these kids that were bowling and they had this like bowling team and they're trying to save this bowling alley. and I think it was called Alley Cats or some shit.
Alley Cat Strike.
And that's the bowling alley you're talking about, Sean?
No, Alley Cat Lane is the name of the bowling alley, but I just had to Google it, and it's called Alley Cat's Strike, apparently.
It's a Disney movie, right?
Yes.
It
Yes.
was
Disney
like on
Channel original movie, premiered on March 18th, 2000, directed by Rod Daniel. Kaylee
yeah.
Cuoco from Big Bang is in it. She's the only name that's even notable because she probably wasn't notable then, so she came at a cheap cost.
She was cheap, yeah.
Yeah,
She was trying to make it.
That was in her early years.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the synopsis is it's kids in a bowling league, trying to create a bowling team. So that's cool. But yeah, like that place is Alley Cat Lane is like super retro. Like I said, like you pull up to the building and it's like this just like old gray warehouse looking building. And then you open the door and it's like lanes on either side. And you can
nice.
go bowl. Because half we're in New England, baby. Half of that has to be candlepin. So one side is candlepin bowling, and the other side is traditional bowling. I remember candlepin bowling a lot as a kid.
I don't even know the difference.
It's a small ball that fits inside your hand, and you get an extra. You get 3 balls instead of 2.
Oh yeah.
And of course,
like
the pins are the pins
The
are.
only thing that I've ever had experience with like that is skee ball, bro.
Yeah, no. It's like an actual bowling lane length.
Yo, but skee ball, bro, is the shit.
I don't actually hate skee ball. Skee ball is pretty fun.
I was always a fan of skee ball in the arcade in the midways.
Yeah,
I like me some skee ball. I always liked the bigger skee ball machine though. Like when you had a bit of a longer.
Oh yeah, longer runway.
Yeah, because like in my local mall, in their old arcade, they used to have a couple of those short track ones, and like I could never dial in as easily on those, so I'd way overshoot. But on those long ones, I'd get just enough drag that I could actually hit the high scores more often.
And when you make it in the tube, the little thump.
That was like
that was that good feeling for sure.
Yeah, dude.
Did you guys ever have that arcade game Feed Big Bertha?
No.
The coin pusher thing?
So no. So basically it would be this like big inflatable fat woman and her mouth would just open and close. And you would get like for like 90 seconds, balls would just continuously drop in front of you. And you had to pitch as many balls into her mouth as it would open and close. And of course, as the 90 seconds went, her mouth would start to open and close, a little bit faster. But like for a kid who wasn't very athletic growing up, like never was on baseball teams or anything like that, I could rock that fucking machine.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one of those, bro.
Dude, I've never even heard of that before.
I used to turn out fucking tickets like, whoa.
Do you guys have have that one machine where it had like the wheel that was spinning and it had like all the different slots for like different values, and you'd fucking like drop your token in and you'd go down this fucking like ski slope fucking jump, and you'd have to like jump it into like the little slots to fucking
and
like the different ticket amounts or whatever.
Different places would have like different themes too, because like I remember seeing some that would just be like basic with like neon colors, but I remember others that would be like tropical themed and would have like little mini palm tree beach scenes and shit in there.
Yeah, ours were the most ones that I ever seen were like they're always like winter themed, like it was a ski slope and you're like the coin was like on skis and you're trying to jump it off this jump into the wheel to like collect the fucking different things. Or I've seen other ones too where they're like fucking dinosaur themed and shit like that, where you try to like shoot the coin or like flip the coin into like
dude, I hadn't even thought about that till you said it, where you like load the little gun with your token and you have to aim it and try to fire it into a hole
and it'd flick it into either hole or whatever.
Oh my god, dude, those were so
arcades
much fun.
Were the shit growing up, dude. I used to love going to arcades.
I know, man. Like, I feel like I know in my local mall that arcade really changed when the Dance Dance Revolution,
Dude, DDR was so fucking
when that
popular
blew
for a
up.
long time.
Like that arcade stopped being about tickets and more about games like DDR, because that was
Yeah,
where the
once the
trend shifted.
tickets went away and it was just about like fucking seeing how long you could last, and then once you were done, sort of thing. I was like, man, I want to get some fucking, give me something for winning. You know what I
Yeah, give
mean?
me my dumb fucking sticky hand, or
Yeah, I want a
my
sticky hand or
novelty
get a
comb.
fucking slinky or something. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got a question. What's DDR?
Dance
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 Revolution.
Revolution.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
The
I just said the acronym because I didn't want to say the whole
the
thing.
the
I thought
dance
for some
version
reason
of
you were talking
Guitar
about like Red
Hero.
Dead Redemption. I'm like, I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah,
sure
dude,
that's
you
like
remember when they
RDR.
dropped Guitar Hero machines in the
Yeah,
arcades?
yeah, I do. I do. That was weird.
It sucked compared to console.
It was weird, man. Like the funny thing for me too is, how are you supposed to, like, some of my friends at least, they knew the song, right? Because they've been playing it a ton. So it was more a musical cue than a visual cue for them. And how are you supposed to use those musical cues in the loud, obnoxious, distracting arcade?
Well, it's not even so much that, but the controllers usually sucked.
Oh, of course they did.
So like half the time the buttons didn't work, or the strumming thing you had to either just go up or go down, and then like, or you'd have to it was weird. I stopped playing the machines after a long time. But dude, air hockey was the shit.
I
Remember
used to
the
like air
old
hockey.
any of the bike games, like you play
Oh
Road
yeah,
Rash and shit? You
dude,
actually sit
racing
on the
games,
fucking
bro.
bike and you have to
I used to
lean.
love the
Ah,
racing games,
Dude,
dude.
Daytona, USA, when you'd have like the lineup of cars, you could have like 8 of the cars and they'd
Yeah,
even
and you
like
oh,
could
you
move a
actually
race all your
bit.
sit in the
buddies.
little cockpit.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember like you'd be playing with homies and you'd just be like fucking, 6 to 8 people deep and you'd just be racing, fucking, like if Robin ain't racing or like whatever
Dude,
those stupid things are,
I
you'd just
used
be
to
like
love
this
the
kid
Need for
fucking
Speed
tripping each
ones.
other.
The Need for Speed racing games were my favorite. Because like after you like as you won, you got to like super car up and shit and like unlock fucking like different upgrades and stuff like that, dude. And then you could put your code in and shit, so like you could load up your profile of like other games and stuff after a while. And then there were these dope racing ones that I used to play at, like there's this place out here called GameWorks. And it was like this huge fucking arcade, like two-story arcade with all these fucking games, dude. It was insane. And it also had like a bar in there too for like adults and shit. But anyways, they had these
That's
dope,
dope.
like they were like, I think they were probably like Japanese like racing games where like you could get cards and shit. And like you'd save like your shit on cards, and like anytime you went back, you'd be able to like load your card into these games and like continue on your fucking like it was crazy, dude. It was like a fucking memory card almost.
That's brilliant. That's
But dude,
brilliant.
they had so many dope games in those places, bro.
Like,
Like I remember there's one game, bro, I used to play as kids where it's like you'd get different beetles and you'd like fight, and you get like different cards and shit like from playing this game, to where like every time you went back you can load in your beetle and like you'd fight against your buddies and shit, and you'd get different cards like through playing it. Dude, it was nutty.
that's wild.
Yeah, dude, there's some dope fucking games out there, bro.
Just hearing that, I really do feel like that's like a Japanese game
Yeah.
for sure. Like, I used to have a Sega game when the 32X was a thing for that brief period of time in Sega Genesis's life. But I'll never know if I pronounce it correctly, but I think it was called Calabri. But basically, like, you were a hummingbird. And I don't know if there was a point to the game because I never played it enough to figure it out. But you were a hummingbird and you did stuff as a hummingbird.
Oh, dude, they also had this fucking horse racing game where it's like a legit, like you would be like kind of like betting on horses, but like you would unlock different breeds and shit, like through playing it, and like get different horses, like through winning races and shit.
Hmm.
That one was pretty dope.
They're just training you to spend your money at the track.
Yeah, yeah.
Brought to you by Suffolk Downs.
Dude, there's so many cool games, bro. Back in the day that I used
Oh
to love
man,
playing.
I
Tekken Tag or like any of the fighting games on the arcade machines were
you
sick.
remember the flight simulators where you'd sit in it and it would actually like
Yeah,
tilt
that
you
one
and
or like
shit
the
in the
Star Wars
cockpit?
ones where like the pod racing one was pretty sick.
Oh man,
Or the fucking Jurassic Park ones where you're in like the Jeep and you're like driving through and you gotta like shoot the fucking dinosaurs.
yeah, dude. Oh man, you said that. That just gave me flashbacks to Jurassic Park uh on Sega, which was also like a Sega arcade box game. Um did you guys ever play that game? It was from the very original Jurassic Park movie.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
You
know.
were whatever that head scientist main character's name is, I can't remember.
Me neither.
But you were him and you were like traveling through different parts of the Jurassic Park movie and having to like tranquilize dinosaurs to like get through, and typical platformer jumping up different levels to get to different areas kind of a game. But I hadn't thought about that game in years and I literally just had a flashback of it right
No,
now.
I don't remember that one.
Holy crap. I'm gonna have to go pull up the emulators and find that game
Play it.
because
Yeah, for
holy
sure.
crap, I'm totally having a flashback about it right now. And which now that I'm remembering old Sega games, dude, I remember playing another one. I don't remember the name of it to save my life. Uh, but all I remember is it was a side-scrolling uh aerial fight game for like planes and stuff, and you would either be a biplane with a machine gun or a blimp with a machine gun. And it was basically just side scrolling, and you would go up and down and shoot the enemy planes and stuff as they got in your way.
I don't
And
remember
I
that
remember
one.
playing the shit out of that. And that was another one that like Sega did have as an arcade box that I would see at random arcades.
I
So
used to
like,
love the one that would have like all the old Atari stuff on it, like Invader or like all the older games. Like so it'd have like Space Invaders and like fucking Pac-Man or like it would have like the variety to where like you could pick like all the old retro games like Dig Dug and all that shit.
Oh, like real retro.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
pre-Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because yeah, dude, I remember even there was like Nintendo cartridges that you could get that could have like 100 games on it, and it would have shit like that on there.
Yeah.
It was
Like
called Steel
you'd be
Empire.
playing like basic ass fucking shit.
Paperboy.
Oh
Yeah,
man, I
dude.
I was I was a big Asteroids fan. You want to talk about like Atari and shit? Like Asteroids
Dude, I
was the
loved Space
shit.
Invaders, bro. Space Invaders was fun. I still like those types of games where it's just like you got like the wave of enemies and you or like the one where you're like a tank and you're like fucking like going back and forth and you have like a couple like obstacles in front of you that you could use as cover, but you're sitting there and you're shooting back and forth and then you unlock power-ups to like get more guns and shit to like take out the waves of enemies as they're coming in. Like those types of games are always fun.
Sick. I remember as a kid in the early days of Windows, I think it was an old Atari game, Tanks, that was
Yeah,
on
so,
there,
it was something like
and
that.
it was literally just like your little. It was like you'd have terrain, you'd have like your little fucking 6-bit tank, your enemy 6-bit tank, and all you could do was like gauge where you were going to shoot to try to hit your enemy, or at least like take the land out and knock him down.
Yeah, and it would disappear, and like little circles would get cut out from every
Yeah,
explosion, then it
yeah,
would fall down.
dude.
Dude, they had other games like that they developed like over time, like Worms. Same situation, but you're a little fucking earthworm, and you get like these different types of guns and shit that you can use to shoot and take out your enemies. And it's the same thing where every time you shoot and it hits something, that part of the fucking map gets blown up and like a little fucking crater gets left. And whoever may be like maybe sitting on top of where that is falls into the like the crater, and you can make them fall off the map if you continue to keep shooting the fucking
Oh
uh
man, dude.
dude, those games are so much fun.
Oh, yeah, dude. Because like I remember that and like missile, was it missile defense? where like you just have like little like radar or missile stations, and you would have to like fucking shoot down incoming bombs, I think it was, or something. It's another old Atari game. Oh man, Atari games. Pitfall. Do you guys ever play
Pitfall.
Pitfall?
I don't remember it, but I remember hearing about it. So like, chances are I've probably played it.
I just remember the little 4-bit man, and I remember as a kid playing it at my friend's house, and we could not for the life of us make this jump over a pit to grab a swinging vine. And we just kept dying relentlessly. And I think that might have been the first time I ever rage quit a game.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm talking, I must have been like 6, you know? And like we were like 6, 7 years old, maybe 8 at the most, and we were like, "Ah, this sucks!" And just like got so pissed we stopped. Oh man, memories.
Ah, dude. Good
Uh,
time. Dude, I wish I could find like an old school arcade somewhere I could go to and play like a bunch of these games.
dude, like I'm hearing this, and it's like it's making me want a cannabis friendly
Oh, dude, I would fucking
arcade.
be there in a minute,
You know what I
bro.
mean? Like you could have a little like air hockey and pool area. You could have a whole bunch of different cabinet
I think there's like a
games.
spot kind of like this in Vegas. I think it's called like Area 52 or some shit, maybe. And it's like a like adult arcade where you can like get drinks and like play fucking arcade games and shit. Kind of, so maybe kind of similar to Dave and Buster's, but with like
Yeah. Like we need
older
a
games.
Dave
Because
and
dude, Dave
Buster's
and
of
Buster's
weed.
sucks, dude. Honestly, like the last 2 times I went there, none of the games were cool.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like it's not fun there. Like I want them retro games, and I want
We should
the
have a
ability to
retro
smoke
side
weed,
and a new side.
you
You know
know,
what I
and I
mean?
want the ability to smoke weed. And if I had a big enough facility, I want an indoor go-kart track too.
Oh,
Oh, that'd be cool, dude.
You know what I mean? Like an indoor
and
go-kart
laser
track.
tag.
Hey man, if we got a big enough facility, if we're just, the biggest facility possible, hell yeah. Fuck
One
it.
And a
story,
fucking water slide, okay?
Yeah, and
I
an
want a
dude.
indoor
big ass
water
water
park.
Oh,
slide.
bro,
Yeah.
I literally know the location, bro. There's like it's not like the best location, but like it's literally an old school like little like amusement park slash mini golf course that had like a go-kart track. It had like this big pyramid in the center that was like an arcade on one level. The second level was a big ass laser tag, and they had a water park in the back.
That's what's up.
I
That's what's up.
It was
yeah.
called Pharaoh's Lost Kingdom.
We need to figure out how to buy it, retheme it, and turn it into a Shedtime friendly establishment. Let's go. Holy shit. That's
Dude.
exactly
And we could
the
just turn the
vibe.
big pyramid into a shed.
Exactly.
Don't worry, man. With the amount of VC money that's like probably coming into cannabis these days, like you'll be able to get funded. You just got to get in the right room. That's
It's
it.
like dude, that would be fire. Like
That'd
that
be
kind
so
of an
sick.
environment would be
It's in
fire.
Redlands, California.
Like what's it missing? A concert venue.
Oh, that's probably got us.
Like
It's probably got
that's
one.
it.
'Cause I think they used to do like little like shows and stuff there.
Yeah, like if they had like an outdoor stage or something you could put on concerts, boom, like it's a
It
wrap.
was not a small place, bro. It was pretty substantial, but like it wasn't like, super huge theme park, but
Like my son, like when Chris
small
said
water
that
park.
the water park, like my brain went to like, you guys familiar with Great Wolf Lodge?
Yeah, like that's basically what it is, right?
Like imagine having a weed friendly Great Wolf Lodge.
Indoor. Yeah.
Like indoor
like
water
an
park,
adult
all
one.
that
I guess
other
would be
crazy
like an adult
spa.
one more so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
have a
it'd be
spa,
like-
the whole nine.
Yeah, it could be year round too, because those are indoors mostly, aren't they?
Yeah, dude, that shit would be sick.
Bro.
And like
Yeah.
in the similar vein, I went to a metal festival years and years ago at a place that was attached to something like a Great Wood Lodge or a Great Wolf Lodge. Um, so like you could in theory have a convention center that's attached to that lodge, and that convention center could host any number of things, concert venues, conventions, etc.
Yeah.
So like, dude, what a crazy venture that could be. A weed convention in a facility you could smoke in. Let's do it.
Why not, man?
You know what I mean?
I do actually. I totally do. That'd be awesome.
I wish we just had connections with people to where we can organize some shit like this.
I mean, listen, I do have some connections to those people. The problem is that this sounds like they're going to listen to me.
Yeah, I know that. Well, that's you know what I mean, though. Like we have the connections in the pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I don't have the pull. That's my problem. Because I
One
know
day,
the
hopefully.
people.
Hopefully, one day, dude.
My general manager right now has 2 licenses for consumption lounges. So like that, like if he would actually listen to me, that would be a pitch I would give him. Like, bro, this idea. Instead, I gave him the one that I think he's more likely to take because he seemed extremely interested. I told him speakeasy.
Yeah, that would work too.
Secret door, the whole nine. Someone walks into like a little bodega, and if
That's
they
what I was
know
gonna
the
say, just
password, the
have
secret
it just
door
like
opens.
yeah, have a little convenience store, and behind one of the little freezer doors or refrigerator doors is actually the door to the fucking club. And you walk
Exactly.
in, and then you can fucking you got the guy checks your ID, whatever, make sure you're good. You walk in, you fucking walk up to the bar. They got fucking jars of fucking weed labeled up. You're like, oh, let me get this, this, and that. Or they got fucking dab rigs you can rent or whatever. You just fucking, dude, that'd be sick.
Do you think you'd have to be like, hey, yeah, can I see some ID? And then you just right before they walk in, it's like, are you a cop?
You cop?
You don't have to. It's
You a narc?
that's the best part. So I'm like, you just tell them like you have to know the password, dude. Like a real speakeasy. What's the password? Ah, knuckle sandwich. Come right
Yeah.
in.
Shablinski.
You know, like, and then of course you check the ID, obviously, but like, oh, dude, like, how dope would that be? Fucking secret passageway into the club. Boom, now you're in. It'd be so dope. I
Or
think
it's like a passphrase, like he starts off the phrase and you have to finish it.
yeah, you know what? It literally, like, you have to know the secret
Little Bo
password.
Peep.
Lost a sheep.
Yeah.
Up, door opens. You know,
Jack and Jill went up the hill.
or what if it was something like
Fetch the pail of water.
you walk into some like beautiful office building and like you have to do the whole you pull a book out of the bookshelf and the bookshelf opens. You know, like
I feel like the convenience store one where you like open the freezer door and maybe you just got to pull out the right fucking drink and then the fucking thing opens would be sick.
there's so many cool things. There's just like this employees only door that like doesn't look right, and like all of a sudden the fucking panel drops and there's like a peephole.
You step on a tile on the floor and all of a sudden the fucking thing slides open.
Like it'd just be
I
having
always
that,
thought of having like a little secret passage, like even just in my home would be sick.
dude. I would love a house with secret passages.
Like even just like the room.
Oh, dude, that'd be cool.
Like the door to my room. You know what I mean? If I just like fucking made it to where it, like to the average eye, you wouldn't know what was a door.
I almost lived in a house that had a spot like that. We looked at it when I was a kid, and I really wanted my old man to buy it because it would have been so dope. There was an attic room. The house was built back, I think it was like 1800s. So there was an attic bedroom that was meant to be a servant's room. Because it was a servant's room, on either side of the bedroom were stairwells that had passageways through the house.
Okay.
So you would be able to go down the stairs one way, come out of one door, and you're in the hallway by the bathroom. Come down another set of stairs, come out a door, you're downstairs by the like living room. Like, brilliant. So the bathroom one, like, it just was a door inside of a closet. So if you opened the closet, you just saw the shelves. But then the door opened inward into the stairwell and went upstairs.
That's actually pretty cool.
Like, it was so fucking fire.
That's dope.
And like it was similar. There was just like this wood panel section by the staircase downstairs. I don't remember if it was like living room or if it was like a basement floor. I can't remember it all anymore. But like I just remember there was like this wood panel section and it just swung open and that was the other staircase. Like, surprise, here I am.
It's a trip.
Like that would have been so dope.
A lot of houses like in your area, I'm sure, have like very interesting construction, especially for them being as old as they are. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you were to come out here and go to Salem, for example,
Oh, dude, that shit's got to be
yeah,
nutty.
there's a tourist attraction that's actually not there for its witch history, but for its history and connection to slavery. And it's called the House of the Seven Gables. And it was used as a hiding
For the
place
Underground Railroad.
for the Underground Railroad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And they had a very similar design feature as the house I just described, where if you were to look at the home outside, you would count 7 gables outside. For people who don't understand what a gable is, it's that like little rounded piece on the outside of some of those old Victorian houses. And if you were to be inside that house, you would find that you would only be able to enter 6 of those 7 gables. There was seemingly no other way to get to the 7th gable. It just looked like it was there for decorative purposes. However, in a closet in one of the bedrooms, the back wall was a false wall. And so a door can be opened and there's the staircase that takes you into that 7th gable. And so that was where they would hide slaves that were on their way on the Underground Railroad. So I would say 110%, it's a very common thing. I mean, when we went to NVE in Connecticut, that house had like all sorts of little like weird nooks, crannies, passages.
Yeah, it was huge though. It was huge though.
But again, it's a house that's of that same era.
Yeah, it's old and fucking huge.
And so like that kind of stuff is common in those kind of places from that era. And I mean, there's even stories that here in my town, there's a tunnel underground that was used during the war efforts to move the rope, and that allegedly it connects into the basements of several buildings throughout town. So, like the kind of stuff that happened in these historic areas like this, yeah, who knows?
Yeah, where there's a long history, right?
Yeah.
More often than not, it's interesting.
Like I follow some German kids on Instagram who do urban exploration out there, and the number of like abandoned bunkers from like World War II and shit that they find, they'll just like be walking down the road and there'll be like a grate that they're like, this grate doesn't make sense, and they'll pop the grate and they'll dive in, and it's a fucking like full on bunker with like all sorts of shit still left behind from World War II. Craziness. So like I can only imagine that's just, more of a recent history in a place like, Europe, Asia, where they have even longer histories of civilization. How many crazy places like that exist?
Yeah, who knows, dude?
But with that mind-blowing thought, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of our time. Gina's giving me the signal, so you know what that means, guys. I'm going to thank everybody for listening. It's been a wonderful afternoon spent with you guys chilling, and I hope you all have been enjoying yourselves. I hope you got a couple laughs and maybe learned a thing or two along the way. And, I hope we managed to entertain you. So big shout out to all of you folks listening. Big shout out to the patrons. If you guys haven't checked out the Patreon, it's pretty cool, man. You get the opportunity to watch the show. You get an opportunity to catch it early because we release that to the patrons before we drop it live on other streaming platforms. So that's an added bonus as well. And as we're having the opportunity to get discount codes and things like that, well, patrons are going to get that too. So you definitely want to make sure that you check that out if you get a chance and you feel so inclined to. Yeah, with all of that, stay tuned because you never know what's coming over here. We got some guests that are going to be coming up here pretty soon. We got a few other cool plans that are in the works that we're working out the details on. So we got some new content coming. And I'm going to go ahead and switch things up and let James go ahead and kick off the sign off this time.
So, of course, as always, I do want to shout out all the Shedheads for all your guys' continuous support. Make sure you guys are dropping those 5-star reviews on all your different podcasting platforms because that does help us out in the old algorithms. Lets more people know about the Shedtime podcast. And, of course, tell your friends if you guys are enjoying what you're hearing here on the show. Let them know about it. Hopefully, and they can come and be part of the Shedhead community along with everybody else. And, of course, if you guys want to check us out, also over on the YouTubes, you can check us out on Friday on the Green Room. We've been taking the show on the road this past couple weeks, which is kind of fun. I've been doing the show on location at a couple places, and it's been real fun. And being able to do that and switch things up has been just a cool opportunity. So go check that out if you want to. And of course, we'll be here in the shed doing what we always do, hanging out, giving you guys cool conversations and just random topics. Of course, if you guys want to drop us an email or something, there is a link over there on the website to let us know about some ideas you guys might want to see here on the podcast. Let us know. You know what I mean? We'll take any opportunity to fulfill some of those needs that you guys may want. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we want to bring you guys some content that you guys want are interested in. You know what I mean? So with all that, I'm gonna end it as I always do, sending out positive vibes, crisp high fives. Don't forget to tell someone you love them. And as always, a little dab or bag will do ya. Chris.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody. Hopefully you guys had a good experience today. I just want to say shout out to the good weather coming. I've been sitting in a sunny room this whole time, and it's starting to be, above freezing every single day. And it's getting warm enough that you take your sweater off if you're doing any sort of physical thing outside. And I just fucking like it. So I'm going to shout out to everybody for that as well. Let's go spring. If you guys want to check out anything that we got going on, go over to shedtimepodcast.com. Of course, we do appreciate everybody that goes and checks it out. And we definitely appreciate anybody that links up to our Patreon. Always got some stuff kind of popping up there. We have a Discord. We have all sorts of stuff. So feel free to do that. And then I will shout, the boys out for, Friday nights, Frank Jankel Vapor YouTube channel. We got the Green Room. Come by, check that out. You can also check me out on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock, same time as the Green Room, on Mixing It Up on KBTV's YouTube channel. And I think that's everything for me. So everybody be safe, have a good week, and live your best life. And I think John is going to finish it up.
Yes, sir. It's fun to switch things up once in a while and keep ourselves on our toes. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, shedtimepodcast.com. If you want to join the Patreon, go check it out. Like Chris mentioned, Discord is another one of those awesome features that we provide you guys for being a part of that. So feel free to check it out. Join us. If you're listening and you're into the Patreon and you're not in the Discord, shoot us a message over there and I will make sure to send you a link directly. So with all of that, guys, you know what I'm going to tell you. Don't let the best get you down. Be cool. Don't be a dick. And whatever it is that you do, be sure to have some fun because it's the Shedtime Podcast. And it's time to roll on up and roll on out.
Dynavap, Dynavap, Dynavap. Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape? Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right, your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy, Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton of Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's Wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what? You have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Suck, dude.
Peace.
Deuces.
Yo, I harvested my weed plants, so that
Oh,
means we
shit.
get to find out if I suck at growing weed soon.
Dude.
No,
I'll
it
tell
means
you
that
what,
we're gonna
bro.
find out if you're a fucking genius first try.